Hey everybody, Joe Robinson here. Today I'm at Santa Barbara Mattress, one of 3 retail stores that Spencer's Ventura Mattress owns. Spencer's Ventura Mattress is a factory direct store, which means we have a factory and we can make any type of bed you need, whether it's for an RV, whether it's for a guest room, the master bedroom, all sizes, all shapes, different preferences. Today we want to talk about depressions in beds. Now, believe it or not, we get a phone call maybe once or twice a month, sometimes more, sometimes less, where customers call up and they say, hey, I've been sleeping on my bed for 1.5 years and I'm noticing there's a body depression where I sleep. Well, guess what? That's perfectly natural and normal. A bed, like anything else, has natural wear and tear. What we want to talk to you about today is the difference between natural wear and tear, where you're still getting the support you need, versus sleeping in a hole that can destroy your health and your back. So I'm going to bring in Spencer today. We're going to talk about this. This is a really nice bed that Spencer sells here, and we're going to be talking about.
This is a big topic. This is huge.
Definitely. Let me sit back
I would
here.
think that most people out there watching this right now could visually go to their mattress, peel open the sheets, take a look at it, and see where they've laid in it. The industry likes to call it body mapping, nesting, body depressions. These materials are very comfortable, but in order for them to be comfortable, there has to be some wearability to it, similar to tennis shoes. A nice pair of jeans maybe will work as you wear them more often. They kind of fit to your body better, and that's how a good mattress should be crafted and made. To when you're laying on it, it's forming to your body. You don't want to feel like you're in some sort of concave or a pit that arches your back too low.
Right, and what kind of bed typically does that happen?
Well, for one, all foam beds. If it's an all foam bed, with exception, there are types of foams out there that are made really well. High density foams, Joe, natural latex. Those have more of a push to them.
So any of your bed in the boxes are typically foam beds.
Well, that's the only way. Think about it. It's the only way we can get it into a box that big. We have to use
the box is this big, and the mattress is actually this big.
It's
only
inferior.
Foam does that.
Right.
Talalay latex isn't going to do that. Inner springs aren't going to do that.
Right.
Foam is. So be
wary.
wary.
If we do put inner springs combined with foam in one of these box beds, we have to use a thinner gauge. It's not as supportive. There's just no possible way to put the right support in a mattress in a box this big. And I'm not, they're great. Bed in the boxes are great for temporary use.
Right.
But if it's if it's a, two people are using it full time, or a big heavy person, they're useless.
If you're gonna use a bed in a box, maybe use it for your guest room where you have occasional guests. Anything that's going to be used every single night for longer than 6 months, you want to get something that's higher quality. So can we jump into how does somebody know if it's a body depression that's normal and they're still getting support versus a hole that's going to compromise their sleep?
So I watch people when they get up. Can I lay on this bed here and show you? Yeah, well,
it's his bed.
So I'm just laying on my back. You know what's funny is most clients will come in the store and they'll lay just like this on a mattress. And you know darn well they're not sleeping this way. They're rolling to their side or throughout the night.
Yeah,
so this, just so you know, when you do trial mattresses inside of showrooms, because it's my contention that I think everyone that buys a mattress should. You should definitely trial the mattress first before you actually purchase it and bring it home or have it delivered. But if you look at my body, this is a very nice bed. You can see, take a look at
there's a slight, right here, it goes down a little bit.
We're heavier in this part of our body. It's
right.
called the triple third part of a human's body right here. And this is the heavier part. So you can get a little more wear here. Well, you do. You get a little more wear. So, so naturally, whatever materials you're on, especially natural materials, your cottons, your wools, they pack down. They pack down. And not only that, the first night you lay on a mattress, it's going to pack down and start forming. All the way till about 6 months, maybe a year, and it hits its resistance point. Once it hits that point, you then have that support. It's not going any further. Now, if this is a nice spring unit or a nice
so we're talking about pocketed coil, maybe with some latex, and then there's that polyurethane layer on top, or with maybe some other type of padding that will depress But below, the proper support will still be there.
Well, if it's built right.
If it's built right.
If it's built right. You know, they have to wonder out there, like, how do you know if it's built right?
How do you know if it's built right?
We build them. So when we build our beds, we want to make sure, listen, we don't want customers calling us back a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I can't sleep, the bed's not supporting me, my back's starting to hurt. I mean, that could be due to a lot of other external like functions that
right, how they're living,
right, but that's the last call we want from a consumer.
Now, I have noticed there are certain beds that require certain types of box springs and platforms. Otherwise, the body depression can
you brought up a great point there. One of the biggest causes of a bed really having a nice sinkhole, I like to call it a sinkhole, because when you're in a nice dip like that, you're just not sleeping well. You got to feel, we call it marriage hump. You got to feel like you got to go up and over if you want to say hi to your partner. So that's not good. That's not good. The platform that you put it on. Now if you look at warranties on a mattress, it'll say it can go on the matching box spring, or you can put it on a foundation or a platform bed, and your warranty will be good. But there's a new thing out there in the industry called a slat bed. And they like to call them platform beds. If you go online, Wayfair, whatever the site, they're going to call it a platform bed. And it's really not a platform bed. It's got those slats, those wood slats that go across. Right. They could be 1 inch apart, 3 inches apart, 5 inches apart. Whatever distance apart is, the closer the better, the more support. But they flex. And these new mattresses aren't made to flex anymore. They're made to be on a surface as hard as the ground.
Right. So because I've seen customers call in. They're like, hey, there's a body depression, and they've bought a bed that requires a proper platform that does not work with slats. And honestly, for whatever reason, they didn't purchase the proper box spring or platform that was supposed to go with that bed. So what ends up happening is the mattress kind of gets destroyed.
It does. Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
So that's one possibility. The other possibility is that you just have natural wear and tear. You actually are getting the support you need because there's pocketed coils, there's latex, and then there's the padding. Now, what you want to be wary of is if you have a foam bed, you've had it for longer than 6 months, you're noticing a body depression, chances are the hole is just beginning. And that's when you want to consider getting a new bed that has the proper support that's going to last.
And I'll tell you something too about that. You can actually look at a foam bed, the newer foams that are on the market, and it won't have that depression in it. But customers will call. We don't sell them, but in the past we used to. And they'll say, I'm not being supported. And I said, well, is there a body depression? And they'll say, no, but I'm just not feeling supported. And so if you go out to the home and you actually feel the mattress where their feet were and where their heavier part of their body was, you can definitely feel that there's just no support there. But it's flat as a board. So it passed. So in the warranty, you drop that string across and you measure it down, and it's not 1.5 inches deep. You have no warranty on it.
Oh wow!
So this is what's going on too.
So they built it in a way where you can't necessarily see the depression. You can only feel it when you're laying down.
Right. And actually, we do a lot of latex, and latex is that way over about 20, 30 years of use. Over time, it's slowly, you'll look at it, you'll have a subtle body depression, and you'll look at it, it's at its resistance point, it's supporting, but after 15, 20 years, it's still in the same spot. There's not a lot of depression on it. But again, you go to feel it, and you can feel that someone's been there for a long time. It's time for a new bed.
Right. So
it's hard to tell with a real push like this, but the secret, there's a little trick, is to go around and feel the bed in other areas. Feel the bed with your knee, lightly. Just try to be aware of your senses.
So bottom line, body depressions aren't necessarily a bad thing. Right. And sometimes a body depression, there is no body depression, but there actually is underneath the material.
Right, lack of support. Basically.
So what you really need to do as the customer, or as the sleeper here in this case, is really, are you sleeping well? Are you feeling supported? If you're not, and you see a body depression and it's a foam bed, chances are you need a new bed. If you don't see the body depression, then feel the bed like Spencer's telling you. Like, do
around
you
the edges,
feel it?
Around the edges, because you don't sleep there all the time.
Right.
Especially at the foot and the head of the bed, not the sides so much, because a lot of people sit on the sides, unless you're sitting here. find a spot in the bed that's not used as
Right.
much.
And compare it to the spot where you sleep.
the spot where the heaviest part of your body is, and you'll see a difference.
If there's a substantial difference, chances are the body depression is too great.
And that's, go ahead, and that's how you can tell you need a new mattress, like the difference.
Totally. And bottom line is that, you know, for example, at Spencer's Ventura Mattress, we make a lot of natural beds, hybrid beds, that the body depression is seen after 3-4 months. But that's a good sign.
Right.
People have body depressions in their beds, and they're loving the beds. We have customers that have bought three beds from us over the last 15, 20, maybe they buy a lot more for friends or for a guest house or whatever, and they're really happy with our beds because we pack in the support, we pack in the coils, we put the talalay latex, a really nice latex. We have beautiful materials. If you want all natural, we can do that. Right. If you want something a little bit more affordable, we can do that too. So I strongly urge you to consider Spencer's Ventura Mattress and Santa Barbara Mattress. And if you're not in the Southern California area, go into a retail store where you can actually feel the bed, compare it to what you're sleeping on, and take your time. If you enter a store where they're like car salesman-y and like not giving you enough time and trying to get your credit card that day, walk out. We never take Spencer will not take your credit card the day you walk in. Like, he won't do it. I'm like, Spencer, come on. He won't do it. So that's
not until we get the bed done.
That's my recommendation based off everything I'm learning from Spencer. And I hope you hear it.
No, thank you, Joe. I mean, this is pretty much it. If there's any questions about, wasn't there a question on last week's?
Yes, recently someone asked about
I don't remember the name, but
it was Catfish on YouTube, which is a funny name. But they've been watching all our videos. They're a big fan. Shout out to Catfish. We wanted to answer their question about latex. They're interested now in latex because of our videos, but they're like, well, doesn't it crumble after a while? So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I have a piece here. Just is that okay?
Sure, yeah, let's show.
I didn't plan on this right now.
No, sure.
Where'd it go?
Right there, yeah.
And then a piece of foam and another piece of latex. So we've had this, this is natural latex right here. It's rubber. This has been here, I think, 2-3 years.
Exposed to light and elements and everything.
The issue with latex, it does crumble. To answer the question, yes, it crumbles.
I thought it did not crumble. I was like, no, that's foam.
No.
Foam crumbles. I wrote it in the YouTube comments, but I was wrong the second I checked in with Spencer.
But it's a good crumble, meaning it doesn't really. So it used to be used in antique furniture. It's over 100-year-old product that you put in seats. And we tore one apart years ago, and it just crumbled and fell apart. But you know what was amazing about latex? Even though it was shattered on the inside, it still had a natural spring to it, and it was actually doing the function it was supposed to do. So it was a 60-year-old chair, somewhere in there. I have to go back to it, and it was still working. Of course, you want new in there, though. Of course, you want to take off the cover, put new latex in, and freshen it up.
Totally. So, and Catfish, just so you know, I own a latex mattress. I'm able to look at it because I have opened it, and because it's not exposed to light and it is in its encasement, it still looks brand new. It's been 6 years. So the shelf life of latex that is not exposed to direct sunlight and gets that oxidation is pretty long, actually.
20, 30 years.
20, 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, here's something I've had, I think this is like 5 years, exposed. So this is the exposed edge of it right here, and yes, it's crumbling. See that?
Yeah.
Powdery.
Yeah, it literally crumbles a little bit. But on the inside where it's not as exposed, it's still nice and soft.
So you go inside. So to answer your question, yes, it definitely crumbles and oxidizes, gets hardens, and that's the exposed latex to a lot of oxygen and a lot of UV lighting. So other inside something takes a lot of years. It's very
This store gets a lot of natural light.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that. But if you were to buy a latex bed or latex inside of it, it's not exposed to the elements. It's going to last 20 to 30 years, a lot longer than most mattresses on the market. So we still strongly encourage people to get latex in their bed, whether it's a hybrid or just latex.
No question. Was there another question about a spring or not?
People are loving the video on springs. One concern was that aren't all the springs the same, and aren't they all sourced from the same place? Quick answer to that is no.
No, the largest in the industry is Leggett and Platt. You can Google Leggett and Platt, P-L-A-T-T. They're the largest in the industry. Fortune 500 company. They produce most of the coils for makers like ourselves, small boutique, crafted, real fine quality goods. And then your major brands, Sealy, Simmons, Stearns & Foster, generally speaking, depends on where they're at in the country, they'll spin their own coils on their own machinery. and so they design their own coils.
And some are better than others.
Oh, there's so many different configurations in a coil. In a coil, the thicker the steel gauge, the more heavy duty that steel is going to be, and the better it gets. Of course, these are pocket coils, and I want to show you guys something real cool. Can I tear it open and show you?
Definitely.
So these are inside a fabric material. There's different types of material you can wrap them in. So this is called being. I kind of switched. I went into this. Is that okay?
Yeah,
I didn't want to make it too long.
His videos.
No, but I didn't want to do a long video. People get.
We're trying to do shorter videos, but hey, we have a lot. It's a lot of information.
So this is a tempered steel coil, and this is Leggett & Platt, and what makes this coil spring is that it's actually electrostatically charged. When they start turning this, they add a current to it.
What's that do to it?
And it hardens the steel in that position. So then it becomes more, it tempers it. It's tempered steel, and it becomes a spring in that position. But the funny thing is, the charge goes one way. I'm not an engineer, and this is what I've been told. So if there's an engineer out there, I'd love to get input too on this. Because anything we can learn about,
put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
And like us on YouTube and like us on Facebook, please.
But this is cool. You don't want to. You can spring on your bed all you want. These will last a long time. But here's where you can ruin a spring. Right there.
So if you go the opposite way.
Go the opposite way, it becomes a piece of wire. Like that, and you can bend it and contort it.
But it's designed to just
It's designed one way when it's tempered to go this way and resist back out.
I see.
So
yeah, a lot of people have the misconception that coils don't last. And, that's what's led us to the bed-in-the-box foam industry, essentially.
Yeah, they've marketed that. They've heavily
now,
marketed that.
Totally. And enough people have slept on foam mattresses that were like, oh, I've only had this for 2 years or a year and a half, and it's not working. Right. Because electrostatically charged coils last a very long time, and if you combine that with latex and you pack it in properly, you make the bed properly, it's going to last a long time.
I mean, I think if you get a solid 10, 12 years out of your mattress that's consistent, not I have it for 3 years, 5 years, I'll put up with it for another 5, and I just don't want to spend the money. You're at 7 years. And
which brings up another good point. A lot of people are compromising on like what they're sleeping on. This is something that completely affects your health. You sleep on this every single night of your life.
Right.
Do not skimp on your health. Don't skimp on your sleep. Don't skimp on your health. That's why I strongly encourage you to, if you're not in Southern California, go to a local manufacturer. If you're in Southern California, come visit us at Spencer's Ventura Mattress in Ventura, or stop in at Santa Barbara Mattress. We are here to service your needs. Spencer has been educating people on sleep and mattresses his entire career, and he knows this stuff.
Email me, call me, and we can help you. Even if you're out of state, we can at least give you some specifications, help you with your decision on it.
And in the meantime, I will answer your questions on YouTube, and sometimes I'll be wrong. Sorry, Catfish.
I mean, the secret's to find a little boutique builder that really knows his products. Small guys are great because they need your business. They want your business. They love their customers.
And it's made in America.
It's made in America, and these guys are working. It's a dying craft. There's not too many of us doing this anymore, but it's well worth it. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.